Are you looking for all the latest pro football news and content? Of course you are. Who doesn't love football? The question is, how do you get all the latest pro football news and content? There's so many different pro football podcasts on the internet. Which one do you choose? Which one is the right fit for you? Well, you go with the Cross the Middle Show, one of the fastest growing football podcasts out right now. Over the past year, we've climbed the Spotify rankings, become a show you have to listen to if you're a football fan. Find out if the Ravens will go all the way with Odell Beckham Jr. Find out if the Eagles did enough to make it back to the Super Bowl. You'll get all of our best stories for just $1 per month. All you have to do is sign up by clicking the link in the episode description box. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Cross the Middle Show. I'm your host, John Kuzma, where we talk about all the latest pro football news and action. We're going to talk a little bit about Micah Parsons. We're going to talk about Quentin Johnston, too, of the Chargers. So let's start with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is playing lights out right now. And I know it's just training camp, but the Cowboys offense can't even get a playoff because Micah Parsons is just demolishing these offensive linemen that he lines up across to the point where the play doesn't have time to develop because Micah Parsons is just so good at, getting pressure on the quarterback. It's been so amazing to watch when you see him getting these reps in practice because there's nobody that can block this guy. He's on another level. He's playing lights out. He's a cut above the rest. One of the young players with such a bright future in the National Football League just because Micah Parsons is so talented. It's making it tough on Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott can't get any reps off because he doesn't have time to scan the field. Because Micah Parsons is just destroying, that left side of the offensive line, destroying anybody that he lines up against to the point, the pocket is immediately collapsing. Dak Prescott doesn't have time to get through his reads. It's just not going very well for Dak Prescott because Micah Parsons is doing such a good job. To the point, it's like, okay, you almost have to back Micah Parsons up a couple steps just so the offense has a chance in practice. That's how good the defense has been because of Micah Parsons and his ability to take over at the line of scrimmage. It's an exciting thing to watch because, you really get the sense that Micah Parsons is going to dominate the National Football League this year to the point where he could be the top defender in all of football. It's usually him and Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett. Those are the guys you had to keep an eye on. TJ Watt in there too. It could be Micah Parsons' year where he is number one on the defense side of the ball. Don't be surprised if that does happen because he has taken a big step when it comes to his game. He's going to be due for a huge payday soon. How could he not? I mean, the guy is the heart and soul of that defense. They've been on another level ever since he's got there. It's to the point where the Cowboys have something special on that defensive side of the ball. You look at, Mozzie Smith, they get in the draft. You have Micah Parsons and Mozzie Smith on that defensive line. Mozzie Smith has a nice punch too. He's a physical player. So you have two guys that are really tough up front. DeMarcus Lawrence is still there. I mean, that defensive line is going to be a defensive line that has some serious tenacity to the point where the Cowboys might have the best defense in the NFL too. We talk about Micah Parsons being the best player on defense in the NFL. Well, when you have the best player on defense in the NFL, you have a good shot at being the number one defense as a whole. Now, we can't forget about Aaron Donald. Obviously, Aaron Donald is the top defender in the NFL. I'm talking about edge defenders mainly. Number one defender overall, Aaron Donald. Edge defenders, you're looking at Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt too. Like I said, I think Micah Parsons can be the number one edge defender. The best edge defender in football. And he honestly could challenge Aaron Donald to be the number one defender on defense overall. He really could. He's that good. He plays with that much tenacity. Just ask Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's having a real tough time getting anything going because, Micah Parsons is that good at, getting into the offensive backfield and wreaking havoc. He's doing it consistently in practice, and it's just making it really tough for the Cowboys offense. The other story we have is the Quentin Johnston story. So Quentin Johnston is taking over for the Chargers. I mean, you look at what Quentin Johnston's doing out there for the Chargers. I mean, this guy is incredible. I mean, his ability to go up above defenders and catch the football, it's really special. I mean, he can go up and get it. And he's been making big play after big play at camp for the Chargers. He always seems to get open near the sidelines, like every single time, right before the sidelines, just a couple inches in bounds. He makes that sideline catch and then gets out of bounds and avoids contact a lot of the time, which has to be frustrating for these defensive backs because first they get beat, then they can't hit Quentin Johnston. And then it's usually a first down or a big gain too. So a lot of momentum usually swings in the Chargers' favor. It's just been so impressive to watch because Quentin Johnston is a guy that, we had high expectations for. He comes out of TCU and was a really good ball player in college. Well, he's really starting to look good in the NFL. I mean, that offense is perfect for him with Justin Herbert, all the other weapons they have on that Chargers offense. To the point where Quentin Johnston, you look at these rookie wide receivers that we have coming out, you got to circle Quentin Johnston. You have to circle Zay Flowers. Those guys are the guys that are at the top of the board right now. They look phenomenal, I'm telling you. Quentin Johnston in particular, I just think he's just such a perfect fit for that offense that it's going to be an explosive offense collectively as a whole. They're going to be throwing the football all over the place. There's no doubt about that. Justin Herbert's going to put up huge numbers. He's going to have a chance to have one of his best seasons yet just because, they have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston. They got weapons everywhere. They're going to throw that ball all over the place. Justin Herbert is going to have a chance at his best season yet. Then Quentin Johnston, I feel like he's going to hit the ground running as a rookie. He's going to be mossing people left and right. He's going to run like the wind for a tall receiver that can go up and get it. So does a lot of the things you like to see from one of your outside receivers. I mean, you got to put him out wide. I don't see him working in the slot. I see him working on the perimeter out wide because he can run the go route. He can win one-on-one situations where he's got to elevate above the defender. I think he's going to be phenomenal in the red zone. There's not going to be any stopping Quentin Johnston in the red zone just because that quick fade, it's there all day. These undersized cornerbacks aren't going to have a chance to go up and jump up and get that football or even break it up because they're not going to jump Quentin Johnston. He's taller, he's bigger, he can jump. He's so good at maintaining his concentration throughout the process of the catch. They're not going to stand a chance. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this Quentin Johnston can do in the NFL. I mean, I knew things were looking good early on at OTAs because he was just making a lot of big plays, and it was like, okay, they might have something there. Now I'm convinced that, he's going to have a shot at Rookie of the Year. That's how good he is, and that's how good the rapport is between Justin Herbert and Quentin Johnston is. They're on the same page, and they're really clicking to the point where it's going to be explosive on game day. Quentin Johnston will be a starter. He might be the number one option in that offense, and I'm still amazed that we have Mike Williams, who's one of the best jump ball wide receivers in the NFL, and then you get Quentin Johnston too, who's also a great jump ball wide receiver. I mean, all Justin Herbert has to do is put it up high, and those guys are going to go get it, and they're going to win those matchups 70% of the time. It's 70-30 balls. We used to say 50-50 balls. With them, it's 70-30 balls because you're not going to out-jump those guys, and they're just going to routinely make those jump ball plays. It's going to be easy for them. I just don't think there's any stopping Quentin Johnston and Mike Williams. Keenan Allen's back. He should be healthy too. We all know how good of a route runner he is. There's some serious weapons on that Chargers offense. They have so much talent that they can challenge the Chiefs in that division. Now, the Chiefs win because they're so good with their offensive coordination. Andy Reid's the offensive play caller. I know he's the head coach, but, he does all the play designing, and he coordinates that offense, even though he's not the offensive coordinator. He's the head coach because he's so good at those things, because he's so good with the fine details on the offensive side of the ball. That's why the Chiefs win so much. He can game plan so well. He can scheme his guys open. That's why the Chiefs are so good. But talent-wise, just off talent alone, I mean, the Chiefs got a bunch of young wide receivers. A lot of them are unproven. You look at the Chargers wide receivers, and they're just so talented. I could argue right now that the Chargers wide receivers are more talented than the Chiefs wide receivers. The Chiefs are just fortunate to have Travis Kelce. But the rest of those young guys, like I said, they're all unproven. They're all still trying to make a name for themselves. That's not the case with the Chargers. The Chargers' strength of their team is their wide receivers. These guys are bona fide stars. I'm telling you, Mike Williams has made a huge jump. The guy is, like I said, the best jump ball receiver in the league. If you put it up high, the chances of him going up above a defender and making that big time catch is going to happen the majority of the time. It's easy to say that because we've all seen it happen so many times. The same thing with Quentin Johnston. He's going to go up and get it, and there's not much you can do about it. It's money in the bank because he's just so talented. He's tall. He's a bigger guy. He's so good at what he does. He's perfected his craft, so to say, and he's done it so many times throughout his time at TCU. You're not going to win that matchup. Justin Herbert, big jump for him just because he's surrounded by talent. Chargers are putting pressure on the Chiefs. I can see it all happening now because they have all the right ingredients, and you can already see the writing on the wall that this is the way things are heading. It's almost like the Seahawks in the NFC West. You can see that the Seahawks are coming in the NFC West because they have all those weapons at wide receiver. You have Tyler Lockett. You have DK Metcalf. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's only a matter of time before those guys start to put a little pressure on the 49ers in the NFC West. Well, it's the same thing with the Chargers and the Chiefs in the AFC West. The Chargers just have all that talent. They're coming. Justin Herbert is still getting better every single year himself. We all know how talented Justin Herbert is. The guy is, I can make a case that the guy has the strongest arm in the league. That throw he had against the Giants on the run was one of the best throws I've ever seen from any quarterback ever. Just a flat-out bomb on the run. And the amount of zip that Justin Herbert has on his throws. I think he's got a stronger arm than Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I really do. Because we're seeing those throws that Justin Herbert makes more frequently than Josh Allen. Josh Allen's got a cannon too, but we just see it happen more frequently from Justin Herbert than Josh Allen. So I believe Justin Herbert actually has the strongest arm in the NFL. Now look at the guys that he's throwing to. They're all lights out. I'm blown away by how much talent the Chargers have at wide receiver. They understand how the game is played in today's era. So much of the game is played out of shotgun formation, which means you have to have more depth at the wide receiver position. The Chargers understand that. which is why they went back to the well at wide receiver in the draft when they already had good wide receivers, because they understand so much of the game is played out of shotgun formation. They understand what they have in Justin Herbert at the quarterback position. They understood that if they got one more wide receiver and a guy that they really hit on in Quentin Johnston, then things are really going to be dangerous on the offense side of the ball. Well, now it's all coming together for the Chargers to the point where they really have something special on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That's all I got for this latest episode of the Cross the Middle Show. I'm John Kuzma. Sign up for $1 per month by clicking the link in the episode description box. Have a great day.